What's cracking, guys? Bruce Matz here, your host show of Metric Scout Fantasy Football, and I have another mid-round running back I want to talk about from this rookie draft class. I want to give you my prospectus, how he should be valued, how we should handle him, and that way you guys got the information going into your draft. Some of you guys are still drafting, some of you guys are done. Let me know in the comments what you think about this player. But we have a pool of mid-round running backs who've landed in very ambiguous situations, good situations where if this or that happens, they could carve out a role and become productive for their new NFL team. And the running back I'm looking at here today is in a situation just like that. Probably one of the best situations in the NFL for these rookies to go to, because there's really not much in front of him. He can really just step in and take over the workload. He's not the sexiest running back out there, not the greatest metric profile, but call a spade. There's not much in front of him, and I'm talking about Damien Pierce from the Houston Texans, drafted in the 4th round, and this is one of the best landing spots. The depth chart's open pretty much. We have Marlon Mack, who's still trying to come back from that injury, carve out that role, reassert himself. We have Rex Burkhead there, and he has had his moments in his NFL career, but he's not a dog anymore. And this is just an opportunity for Pierce to rise up the depth chart and prove himself. He could finish 2022 as the guy for the Houston Texans. And whether you like him or not, that could give us a return on investment that we could sell off from him or do whatever we want. If he becomes the RB1 for the team, that could be an instant selling point for you. We all know about the negatives in his profile. He went to Florida. He wasn't productive. We all know that. He's a 4th round guy. Day 3 players don't usually hit as often. The hit rate's not that great. We all know that. It's baked in there. It's been pounded to death. We all know this stuff. The thing I want to look at here is opportunity versus price, because once we get to a certain part in the 2nd round, this is all we got. This is all we got to look at. So we have to look at these mid-round running backs and see what we can do. And we could trade out. That's always an option, but sometimes it's not. We can wait till all our players are off the board and make our selection, which is what I would advise you do. Wait till all your wide receivers are gone. Wait till all the running backs you like are gone before we start dipping into these mid-round running backs. He's got an ADP of 17.5, 18-ish, so a mid-2nd rounder. Middle to late 2nd round is where I'm seeing him go on average. There have been some people, some analysts, content creators recommending him to be drafted in the 1st round. I've seen it. I've seen him do mock drafts. They pull the trigger at 110, talk about getting your guys. When you get your guys, make sure you get them at the right price. You know you could always trade back, make moves, do whatever. Do the best you can to make the sound decisions. I'll probably do a video on that later here in the next couple of days. That way you get an idea of how the workflow should go for that when you're trying to get the most value. But for Damien Pierce, we're looking at a mid to late 2nd round pick in rookie drafts. Fair value. Pretty much no man's land among these rookies, or the top tier of no man's land, where we have some upside here with some of these players, and they got some value, and we're all just drawing our straws. These straws are worth more than the other straws in the later rounds, of course. With him, the opportunity is huge, because he could give us a return on our investment as early as week 1, week 2, week 3. He could be the lead dog of his backfield sooner than later. Are we expecting him to be the next Jonathan Taylor, the next DeAndre Swift, the next top-tier running back? No. Are we expecting him to grasp a large share of the touches out of his backfield? It looks pretty true from what we're seeing here, at least for 2022. They could invest in another running back next year or the year after. That's always in the cards. It's in the cards for 90% of teams in the league, because this next running back class coming up is very good. There's a lot of talent there. When the talent's up, good talent is good for everybody. So that every team's going to be looking at that. I could see the Texans doing that. That's a good idea. Pairing Damien Pierce with another good running back from next year's class. Pierce getting the ball in his hands, getting that opportunity creates fantasy value, which will give you a return on your investment. His stock will increase, and you could sell him from there. Or you can use him to patch up your hole at running back, whatever it is. But there's a good chance he's getting touches this season, that's what I'd be looking to buy. I'm not loving the player. I'm not huge on Damien Pierce. I don't love his metric profile. However, we saw some good things on tape. We saw it at the Senior Bowl. We saw him run through faces at Florida. Good contact balance, moves laterally well, has size to handle a 3-down workload. Just enough size adjusted speed to get it done at the NFL level. So you can't really hate on him that much. He's good enough to get the job done for a short bit at the NFL. And at the end of the day, at this price point, there's not much more you can ask. When it comes to the value here, there's two things I would rather do. Make sure my guys are off the board. So my guys like David Bell, the receivers, any of the running backs you have that you like better, make sure they're off the board for you pay that premium on him. And then also I want to explore trade outs. I want to explore to see if I can get into that 2023 draft class. I want to see what I can do to get in there. I want to see if there are any veterans that I can trade for. What if someone really likes Damien Pierce, they think he's going to get touches, and there's a veteran wide receiver out there that I can add to my team who is obviously losing value. The value is leaking, but production should be good for 2022, 2023. Just did a video talking about Allen Robinson, how his ADP is pretty high, but we look at the DLF trade finder and he's being sold for second-round picks. So that could be in the works for Damien Pierce. You're looking at a guy who's being valued at a mid-second rounder in a lot of leagues. So that could be in the works, something like that. Not for everybody, but if you're creative, you work hard, and you look through the rosters, you may be able to find something. I look for you to do that first, but Damien Pierce is a good ancillary option, as with a lot of these other mid-round running backs who are in line to somehow receive workload through these prospective storylines that we have. But again, this is not a sexy running back class. Don't expect a lot from these running backs. These guys are going to hit off and on here and there, so you just want to be patient with them and just know that the downside is very possible. But let me know what you think about Damien Pierce, the running back class, or whatever's on your mind. Drop it in the comments. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. I'm here to help you out with your Dynasty Fantasy Football teams, dropping you a lot of knowledge here, a lot of videos on the library. Again, I want to thank you, and I'll catch you next time.